pollution, they got smog and sewage and mud. Turn on your tap and get hot and cold running crud. See the halibuts and the sturgeons being wiped out by detergents. Fish gotta swim and birds gotta fly, but they don't last long if they try.
Welcome to NEK VT Rocks. My guest today is Martha May Sylvester from Coventry. What's happening in Coventry?
Well, Pam, thank you, first of all, for having me on the show. Second of all, we haven't had clean drinking water in the Coventry Village for our third year. We have some serious arsenic levels, some manganese issues. We've had some lead
Stop
issues.
you right there. In your drinking water, that clearly you're not drinking, you have arsenic, manganese or magnesium?
Manganese.
Manganese and lead.
Yes.
Delightful. Okay.
That's what we know about. We
Okay.
don't.
So that's been for 3 years?
Yes.
Why?
Well, we have some transparency issues with the Prudential Committee. The Coventry Fire District is separate from the Coventry Select Board currently,
Okay.
so it's a little different.
So Coventry has sort of it's sort of like Coventry Town and Coventry Village or something like that. What
no.
is the fire district?
The Fire District is a separate municipal entity that the legislators deemed could make laws and everything governing our water and sewer, which
Why?
they don't provide sewer.
I mean, I realize that's a strange question.
Several
Why?
towns do it. It just depends. Just like a town can be a charter town, so
Okay.
it's
Newport's a charter town.
yeah. So it's basically just the infrastructure of our town.
Okay, but it's still technically one town.
Yes, it's still one town. It's just governed by a different governing body.
Okay, so who makes decisions about water?
The Coventry Fire District.
Okay.
So the Prudential Committee of the Coventry Fire District is who decides our rates, our testing, our operator, our costs, land deals, everything that a select board would do, they do for water.
Who fixes the problems?
Well, the state mandates that the municipal bodies fix their own problems. They just
Yeah.
have to submit a plan and then find funding for it, and however long that takes or how they go about doing it is basically what it does.
So who's going to... Clearly nobody's rushing to fix this problem, and I assume none of you are drinking the water.
Well, I do believe some people still are drinking the water. We have a notice that our town community center, where we hold public meetings and
Right.
everything, is on the fire district's water. And at a big, huge Act 250 meeting where we had all kinds of activists and everything
Right.
else, they were filling up their water bottles in the sink, drinking the water from the fire district, and that's contaminated. It's not.
Right.
And
That-
there's no statement saying you shouldn't drink it. It doesn't say do not drink. It says you should seek alternative drinking water.
Yeah, I was at that meeting, and that's really how I even became conscious of any of this, because people were filling their water bottles, and then suddenly somebody came into the room and said, "Don't drink the water, it's got arsenic in it."
That was me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you know what the level of arsenic is?
It was double the amount, so I'm not really sure exactly what it is. I just know and if you boil it, it triples the already doubled amount.
Right.
So you can't even cook with it. So you can't like boil your pasta or anything like that. Can't, you just can't use it. It's not safe.
Right.
It's a carcinogen.
It's a poison. I mean,
Yeah, it definitely has bad health effects.
It may kill you slowly as a carcinogen, but it'll kill you much more quickly as a poison. I mean, if you've ever read Agatha Christie or any of
yeah,
them,
definitely.
it's the way you do somebody in.
Yeah.
So why hasn't it been fixed?
There's, like I said, there are some transparency issues within the town structure, and so the fire district, up until a year ago, wasn't even aware that they are supposed to be their own separate municipality running like a select board or a school board. So they weren't even giving out agendas. They weren't allowing public speaking. We actually had a big bond vote to get this grant money from the federal government, and I challenged the bond vote in court because the procedures weren't done properly. Now they haven't had an audit in over a year and have over $1 million. They're also trying to hold another meeting on May 7th where they're asking the voters of the Coventry Fire District to change the budget year, the annual meeting, and everything else. And I can't understand why you would do that.
Right.
So I already believe the fire district is bankrupt. They don't have enough for operating costs. They also have a landowner issue where this new system that they already have started is supposed to go through somebody's property. And they refuse to make a deal with this person who is also on the fire district's, is a fire district customer.
Where does Coventry's water come from?
It comes from the Black River, which it's actually in the flood zone of the Black River. And I've also discovered that for at least 4 months out of the year, you can't even access the wellhead. I'm not, like, there's a lot of design questions that I have not even found answers to.
And when it was first made public that the arsenic level was way higher than was safe, were all the people in the Coventry district informed?
No. There are still some Coventry residents that aren't on the water district system that don't realize that it's been 3 years that we have not had drinking water. And the Coventry Fire District also supplies the drinking water to the Coventry Village School.
Wow.
Which
I hope the school knows.
the school has a filtration system,
Okay.
but the fire district also tests and maintains and does the test results. And we have a very long history of testing violations and reporting violations on top of the violations for arsenic and manganese and iron. And
Has anybody asked the school if they're doing their own testing? Because that would be smart.
I haven't. Water testing is very expensive.
True.
So Coventry's in a restructuring time, the whole entire town. We still have an active FBI investigation on the select board side. So we have many issues, and it's like priority to priority to priority, and
Right.
water is never a priority.
I mean, the crazy thing for somebody sitting in Newport who's regularly complaining about the high taxes we pay here, you guys don't pay taxes. Or
We pay-
You don't pay property taxes,
We
right?
pay an education tax and like a $4 veterans tax is all Coventry residents pay.
Wow.
But we do take the whole entire state, 70% of Vermont's trash in.
Yes, you
That
do.
we don't have a say over either.
Right.
We've never actually had a formal vote
Yeah.
as to that.
So where would the money come from? Because, again, let me back up here. My understanding is Coventry does really well because you have the dump financially.
Yes.
Why isn't that money being used to fix the problem so that at least people can drink water?
Well,
Water is
because
life, as I
yes,
keep
water
hearing.
definitely is life. Nobody's gonna survive without it.
Right.
So the $7 million and then the other money that we have Coventry has $7 million in an investment portfolio, and then we have our operating budgets and all of that. That the select board controls. So the select board is separate from the fire district.
Right.
The select board cannot go and tell the fire district what to do. The fire district doesn't even want to have their notes, their minutes, or anything put on the town website.
Isn't that illegal?
They do a lot of things illegal. They are not, I mean, how do you hold elections and not know what to do when there's a tie ballot vote? Or how do you not know that you have to
Right.
provide agendas, or that your budget cannot be passed, you can't expend money more than what your voters say, and they do all of it.
But they don't do it to fix the water.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure water issues are going to get fixed anytime soon.
Right.
I mean, they do have a treatment plant in the process of, but like I said, there's issues with land and, so.
And I know in Newport sometimes our arsenic level gets a little bit high, and the treatment facility deals with that with something to do with the filter. So it is possible.
It is possible. That's what we're trying. That's what we got the $1,300,000 bond vote was for. Was to get federal grant money and loans from the USDA.
Right.
And we were successful in that. Peter Welsh pushed for that, and I'm grateful for that. However, you can't use that money for operating costs or anything like that. So they still have to do other things. There's still other legal things. And so basically they're bankrupt, and I believe that they're using this federal money to kind of make ends meet currently because they have so many court issues and stuff.
I mean, listening to this, it sounds truly insane.
Yeah.
It makes absolutely zero sense. Clearly, if Peter Welsh got money, then there are people at a national level involved. And
Well, there should be.
he must be.
There should be some oversight.
Yeah. And you have a representative, a state representative, sitting on your select board. So I assume the state has some knowledge about this.
The state didn't have any knowledge until last year, when I started screaming from the top of my lungs to legislators saying, how is this possible? Mr. Marcotte tells me I need to get along with the fire district. That is his answer to this whole issue, to just get along.
Is that going to fix it?
That's definitely
You
not
can
going
all
to fix
play
it.
nice, but
And
is
I'm not,
that going to fix it?
I'm not okay with not having transparency, not having a voice, not, all of my community basically being poisoned
Right.
and lied to.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people in the Coventry district, I presume, have well water as opposed to being on the city water.
The majority of Coventry residents do. The fire district only has 68 hookups. It's a
Okay.
very small, the fire district has roughly 100 voters, give or take, probably less. It's probably
So it's
like
pretty
96.
much the village.
Right. But the crazy part about it, is that if you're a business owner but don't reside within the fire district boundaries, your property was used for collateral on this bond vote, and you can't vote. So your property did not get due process. You didn't get due process, like the Vermont Constitution or the United States Constitution guarantees.
What would be the implications of that if there was a default on this bond?
It would be a property lien against first the fire district, which I already believe the fire district is bankrupt. So then it would fall back on all of the property within the fire district. Whether you got to vote on it or not, you can own property, but if you don't reside, you can't vote.
Do people know this?
No, it's not very wide knowledge. We did have a big, huge meeting last year where I had challenged the Prudential Committee chair for her seat, and there was the most voters. There was like almost 90 voters or people there, which was the biggest she had ever seen, and it was an absolute fiasco. Half of the people got up and walked out because they were told that it didn't matter whether they voted on the budget or not, that the fire district had control over the monies.
Well, they're clearly not doing a very good job.
Yes, and I've gone to the state, I've gone to the Ethics Commission, which has no oversight over it. Like I said, the Select Board stance, the Coventry Select Board stance is that I just need to get along. There is no oversight for municipalities. The secretary of the Agency of Natural Resources, who is supposed to oversee water, told me that I should go to the Vermont City Towns and Vermont League of Cities and Towns and ask for help. They are an insurance company
Right.
who does not help. How does a high-ranking agency member not know this?
Right. And
It's
not,
my basic life necessity. It's all of our basic life
not
necessity.
only do they not help, they will only talk to people who are members of some kind of body connected with the town.
Yes.
And their function is to protect the town, not
They protect
Not the
elected officials
Yes.
and yeah.
which is a really bizarre organization from where I sit.
Yes, yes.
Who protects the people?
And that is
Apparently
where,
no one.
that's what I'm trying to figure out in Vermont, who actually does protect the citizens. We can vote our elected officials in, but we can't vote them out. We can't hold municipal elected officials accountable. Vermont ranks 48th in ethics for all of the states in the United States, if that tells you anything.
Right. We rank quite high in terms of health, apparently, but I'll bet they haven't factored in that a percentage of people are being poisoned.
Yeah, I'm not sure I really agree with that
I know,
either.
I know, I'm joking.
But yeah, it definitely
It's-
is. I mean, that's one study. If you look at all the others, it's definitely not,
Right,
correct.
yeah.
The Lieutenant Governor's office has helped out quite a bit. The Secretary of State's office has helped me with, learning procedures, policies, statutes. He's come to the area twice and held transparency meetings. So,
And
yeah.
there still isn't transparency.
No.
Does the press help you? Media?
No. I've only had one reporter ever ask me. I actually had two reporters ask me. One didn't run the story, and he was actually a Coventry resident, so I was a little shocked about that. But
I wonder why he didn't run the story.
yeah. So but if you go and look at the One Reporter stories, you will see that they don't really know what they're doing. He was shocked to see that they didn't realize that they were a governing body like a select board or a school board and had to give agendas and yeah. So it's not just me, but
Right. No,
to get the
I
attention,
don't imagine
to
it
get the
is.
attention, everybody, we're like the sacrifice of the sacrifice zone in the kingdom. I don't
Right.
know any other way to explain it.
And that-
We are just
that is really
overlooked
disturbing.
constantly. Yes, it is highly disturbing.
Really disturbing, particularly as we're now talking about expanding the landfill.
Yes,
The
yes.
leachate is going all over the place, and those of us who take leachate can take leachate from other communities besides this local one. That's written
And
into the permit.
the only landfill for the state of Vermont
I
also
know.
runs along the river that
Right.
my community well is in the flood zone of. So
Right.
whatever impact is happening at the dump is already in that river and also is another issue. So why are
Right.
we spending, we're at $2 million right now for a water filtration system that we don't have access to the land, A, and B, the system isn't changing where the wellhead is. So why are we still going to upgrade a system like that that is already still in danger of a flood zone and all of the chemicals coming downriver, upriver, however?
But meanwhile, although you can shower in that water,
It smells and you burn sometimes, but
Yeah.
you do what you have to do.
you can't drink it, you can't cook with it. How do you get water?
I go to Walmart and I fill up reusable jugs. Yes, you'll see me at Walmart at the water cooler. It's been that way for 3 years. I'm pretty thankful they have a 5 filtration system, so it's better. But that is very costly. It's about $250, I'd say, a month just to go get water from Walmart. And that is after the fire district. We pay quarterly. We used to pay $70 before the bond vote happened. After the bond vote happened, we pay $115.50 to the fire district for water that is poisoned, that we cannot drink every 3 months.
Every 3 months. So you.
So it cost me about I would say probably $300 a month for water
This is really crazy.
that I have to lug, that my sick parents cannot do.
Right. So you're paying for water that you can't drink, and you're paying then for water that you can drink, and you have to go and get it.
Mm-hmm.
What do people who can't, because we live in the middle of nowhere. There is no public service, there is no public transportation.
There are still some people in the village who are drinking water. This is a very big financial impact. The
Yeah.
Prudential Committee makes a big joke at their meetings about the no-no list, because if you don't pay, they still shut you off. So you're getting your water shut off, even though you can't drink it, you can't use it, you can't say, hey, you know what, I don't want to vote on this budget that's giving, the employees of this fire district a raise when we can't even drink our water. So it's I don't know, I think it's basic chaos. I don't know any other way to say it. It's just basic chaos.
I'm assuming that Coventry has some residents who are organizers, who are competent, who could really put their foot behind some of this. Where are they?
So, like I said, Coventry is in a restructuring, rebuilding state. We still have an active FBI investigation. We know that money drives the world, unfortunately. So we're
And
still
we
looking
follow
for our
it if we
missing
could,
millions.
right.
The focus is everybody's still looking for their missing millions. We're our own solid waste district and take the trash from all over the state, and we don't have our own solid waste district board or anything like that. The select board literally oversees and mandates the entire dump for the entire state.
Is there any expertise on that select board?
I don't think so. I mean, we have Michael Marcotte, our legislator, and then our road commissioner was just voted in town meeting day, and then we have a business owner who owns a very lucrative business in Coventry. So I'm not really sure that we have expertise on anything. We do have a town administrator who tries her best and has gotten us up to at least, proper filings at this point. So.
And she's new, right?
She's 2 years in.
Okay.
2 years in.
Pretty new. And if she's not, is she from around here?
She's actually a Newport resident now. When we hired her, she was from Lowell, but she's still a Canadian citizen. She can't even legally vote in this country yet.
Okay. So she's presumably running around in circles trying to find out what on earth is going on.
The select board does not want to be involved in the fire district. In the state of Vermont, no elected official can tell another elected official what to do. That is very scary, because remember, we can't vote them out either.
Right.
So I don't know where our oversight for our elected officials actually falls. It's a big ethics problem.
Yeah. What would happen if you could organize all the residents of Coventry?
I would love to have the fire district dissolved, like I have said for the last 2 years, into the town. So the town could take the fire district over and hire competent people and have proper oversight and, you know, give us villagers back some dignity.
I'll take water too amongst that
Well,
list.
yeah, well, if you think about it, you don't have the basic life necessity, you know, dignity. So,
Right.
and nobody survives without water.
Right. What about all the parents of the school kids? That's
Well,
a pretty active school.
The filtration system is only in the school, so the sports fields, they can't use any of the spigots or anything out on the sports fields or anything like that. So it's just inside the school. Although they did just get a water bottle refiltration system, a parent actually went out and helped get. So, but, I mean, if you're not competent in, you know, your testing, your
Right.
operators or anything like that, how can you be sure?
Right. Well, that's true for any of us.
Right.
Anywhere. But the school clearly has taken some responsibility for getting relatively safe water for their kids.
Our principal, Mr. Bauman, from before, we've since had a turnover of school principal as well. But he was very adamant about that, and I was very thankful for that. He was very protective of the school and the water
Smart.
quality. Yes. Yeah.
Would the school help the rest of you? Because obviously nobody's supporting you guys.
Well, I'm not sure how we would even go about doing that. We need the support of the Prudential Committee to say, okay, we've messed up, or we need every voter to say, okay, we've had enough of you. We want to dissolve the fire district and we want the town to take it over. And then the select board, it would fall on the select board to figure out competent ways to fix things.
Ah. So you're hoping that you can turn around this group of people, as opposed to saying,
I'm not.
you screwed up.
Yeah,
Bye.
I've been saying you screwed up for 3 years, and I get yelled and screamed at. I get told to leave town. I get told to shut up if I want clean water ever. Yeah, I've definitely been loud. I'm just getting a little louder.
Good.
So
Yeah, loud is good. Loud has a place.
yes, and I don't do the personal attacks like they do on me, and I don't stand in residents' faces and disagree, or I do disagree. I just don't belittle them or make them feel like their voice isn't important. It takes us all in a community, whether we agree
Yes,
or
it
not
does.
agree.
Have the other residents realized that what you're saying is factually true?
I actually had a neighbor come over to my house yesterday and apologize to me for all of the things. He has since in court a lot of the health conditions that, you know, chronic exposure to the chemicals in our water will give you, like diabetes, high blood pressure. So he's on a lot of medication now. And so he came over and he said, I Googled it, like you said, a year ago. He said, and I'm very sorry, you were accurate at everything you have said. So people are starting to come around, but I don't think enough people are informed.
Would a flyer help?
I'm not sure what would help.
Right.
The Prudential Committee will go door to door, and then they will just shut you down and do what they want anyway. So I don't know how to fix that or go about that.
But the bottom line is you don't have drinking water. End of discussion from
But-
where I sit.
Well, the state has, you know, you have to do certain things in order for the state to step in or help you or anything. And like I said, I've talked to the Department of Environmental Commissioner. I've talked to the Agency of Natural Resources Secretary, her assistant. The governor has not talked to me. The lieutenant governor's been fabulous. He's helped many
Yes.
areas, the Secretary of State, many areas. I've even challenged them in court on the illegal bond vote and still had to eat crow's feet, because if I would have won the case and got a revote, all of the grant money, federal grant money, which was $1 million, would have went away. So we have a lot of things going in here that play in here, and we have 5 different things going on, and nobody's talking to anybody else.
Interesting. So clearly this is going to go public. The show is going to go public.
Yes,
That's
yes.
the point of it.
Yes, agreed.
How can people help?
They can show up on May 7th and voice their opinions to the Coventry Fire District.
That's Coventry
for it.
residents that can do that.
It's a public meeting, you just can't vote. So anybody can show up and voice their opinion, but you can't vote. So
What else can people do?
they can call their legislators and tell them that water is life and we need to start protecting it. We need to take this seriously. We're the Green Mountain State and our waters are poisoned every day.
Well, it's certainly not going to bring people in, and if the state wants us to be this great tourist mecca, this four-season outdoor recreation area, that's not really a warm, fuzzy invitation.
Yeah, there's a reason why, young families are leaving, elderly people are leaving. There are reasons I just don't feel elected officials are really paying attention to us. They have more important, frivolous things. It's always like the water issue is a kick down the road. Somebody else will pick it up at some point in time. And I'm
Right.
finding that nobody has picked it up at any point in time, and down to our laws that say can, will instead of can, and should instead of will, and definitely may. There's a lot of play on words. And we have agencies that don't communicate within themselves, in the Agency of Natural Resources, legislators. I have not once had a conversation in 3.5 years with the governor. Not one time.
Neither, Governor.
And believe me, I call his office a lot.
I bet you do. You're tenacious.
Thank you.
And that's a good
I think.
thing. What about the health department? Where are they? They should be screaming from the rooftops.
Well, so this is where it gets another little touchy subject here. So our health officer for our town is also our fire district operator, who also operates the wastewater treatment plant for Newport. So there's a lot of hats that one person is wearing. So who do you think is kicked down the road for that hat? The 68 people, or all the town of Newport and Derby? Or
Okay, your health officer clearly isn't going to do anything. What about the the Vermont Health Department of Health? Where are they?
They say that they've already done the necessary ramification plan, that there's nothing that they can do. Yes.
Oh,
As long as an entity has a plan in place to ramify the problem or the violation, there is no enforcement within the state.
and is there a real plan?
Well, this treatment plant that they're trying, the system that they're trying to put in, is the plan. It's been the
Okay.
plan for a few years. But like I said, there are design flaws that don't seem to really matter.
Right.
And the landowner issue is another thing. I mean, there isn't even, they can't even figure out where their access to the wellhead is.
So the plan isn't realistic.
Yeah, well.
So meanwhile, back at the ranch,
Yeah.
why isn't the Department of Health insisting that the municipal powers that be provide you all with drinking water? Whether it's bottled or in whatever other form, but that you be given that water.
They wouldn't even say that I had to be given an agenda. So how are they going to tell the water people to give us clean water?
I don't know, but it would be worth asking, wouldn't it?
I've asked a bazillion
I'm sure you
questions
have.
and still get, I'm sorry that this is your predicament. I'm sorry for your situation.
I'm sorry that you're being poisoned. I'm
Yes.
sorry that you're having to spend money that none of you have.
Yes.
to
And that's another
buy
issue. I mean,
water.
we're trying to revamp our village and get a village designation and, fix things around there, and we don't even have safe water.
Right.
So how, what quality of life do you have without water? Think about if you had to, every time you picked up a bottle of water or went to your sink to, make an instant macaroni and cheese in the microwave, you still need water from the faucet.
Absolutely.
So if you think about all of the things that you need water for in your daily life, and
Right.
think about not having that.
That we take for granted.
Yeah.
Cleaning your teeth, just the basics.
Yeah. Making a cup of coffee in the morning.
Right. Yeah, I don't start the day without that.
And that's what I'm saying. So my day literally starts with a water issue and ends with a water issue. My life literally for the last 3 years has evolved around water issues, water oversight, water charts, chemical charts. I've learned a lot.
I bet you have.
I've learned a lot.
We are just about out of time. I told you it goes really
It
fast.
definitely went fast.
I know, it always
Talking
does.
to a friend is always good, though.
I have no idea clearly where this goes. I really hope that this video is seen by a lot of people and that there's a lot of questions asked, but there have to be people in Coventry who somehow are just not paying attention because they have wells, they're not paying attention.
Correct.
But this truly is really crazy. Anyway, thank you so much for coming, and I'm going to see if we can figure out how to do an update, because there has to
Sure.
be some action that
Sure.
happens, if that would be willing.
Yes, more than willing. Like I
Fantastic.
said.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pam.
The breakfast garbage that you throw into the bay, they drink at lunch in San Jose. So go to the city, see the crazy people there, like lambs to the slaughter.